are weird, weird places. And parents are weird. Someone took a ball that my son was playing with it was on the ground, but he was like going after it. So we went over and we said, "Oh, excuse me, that's ours. Give it back." And the parent, the mom said, "Oh no, we all share on the playground." And I kind of thought, well, teaching sharing has its place, but we brought that ball and my son was actively playing with it and yours just took it away. So that's not actually sharing, that's taking our ball. And she said, well, just let him have his turn and then he'll give it back. And then you just kind of think, I'm in front of my kid, what do I say? How do I model the best thing here?
The playground. I'm horrible. I'm like the worst mother. I'm like helicopter mom to the umpteenth degree. Like it's just, I don't want her on the swings. You gotta go down the slide easy. You know, like I hold her going up the steps. It's just like I'm a wreck.
I was the hovering parent initially. Okay, be careful, be careful. And then I realized that I don't want to make him anxious. I need to back off and just deal with it internally. I do not need to impose that on him.
I know I need to watch my middle son because he's very aggressive. I feel like you know that your child is aggressive and you probably should be watching them at the playground. And if you're actively not gonna watch them, then I kind of just steer my children away from the kids who seem aggressive.
A bigger kid came and shoved him, and I jumped over and said, "Don't do that." I was horrified because looking at his face, he didn't know what was going on. He didn't know how to respond. And he just looked so shocked and hurt. And I actually became tearful, which was so, it wasn't a reaction that I expected. I felt sad for him to have to experience that. Obviously, I had to remind myself that this is a child, and I wasn't, I didn't carry on. I just said, don't do that, no hitting.
You have your own way of disciplining and parenting, and how do you talk to the other kid?
My husband is another story. He will actively verbally discipline someone's child, which can cause problems.
I think that this has highlighted for me my own issues with my tendency to be accommodating in some situations. I found myself having a hard time initially telling him he doesn't have to share if he doesn't want to, and that he can go and claim what's his if he wants to use it.
Then it brings up, of course, your own issues, because I always have a hard time speaking up for myself. I don't want to pass that on to my kid. I want him to be able to speak up for himself, but it's really hard for me. I just avoid confrontation at all costs. So it's tough. It's tough. I learn right along with him.
I think having a child has helped me learn so much about myself. Tendencies that I have that I wasn't aware of, and patterns that I repeat from my parents, my mother, and some things that I want to work on myself, like, not saying sorry when someone bumps into me, like my mother does.
I did have someone give me really good advice, and they were just like, let him run. Just let him run. As in the bigger picture too. As he grows older, let him run. And I always try to remind myself that. That was really good advice. So then when there's times where he's, maybe exploring on the playground a little bit more than I feel comfortable with, I just remember that, like, he needs space to explore and to grow, and I need to let him have that in a reasonable amount.